Some people actually see things. This may be gift of discernment. On occasion, I see things. I see things. Like I was meeting with one person, and they didn't know this, but they were abused when they were a child. And I said, when you were a child, you were abused. This person did this to you, physically touched you this way. He said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. It's like I got a TV right here, and I'm seeing it. I said, no, that never happened. I said, go ask them. Go ask them if they actually did what I think they did, and I see that they did. And they went and asked this person, when I was a little kid, did you do this? And the person said, yeah, but you were only like a year or two old. How do you remember that? I said, oh, Pastor Mark told me. Okay. I'm not a guru. I'm not a freak. I don't talk about this. If I did talk about it, everybody would want to meet with me, and I'd end up like one of those guys on TV. But some of you have this visual ability to see things. There was one woman I dealt with. She'd never told her husband that she had committed adultery on him early in the relationship. I said, she's sitting there with her husband. I said, I think the root of all this, I think Satan has a foothold in your life because you've never told your husband about that really tall blonde guy that you met at the bar. And then you went back to the hotel and you laid on your back and you undressed yourself and he climbed on top of you and you had sex with him and snuggled up with him for a while, and deep down in your heart, even though you had just met him, you desired him because secretly he is the fantasy body type. I said, you remember that place? It was that cheap hotel with that certain colored bedspread. You had sex with the light on because you weren't ashamed and you wanted him to see you and you wanted to see him. She's just looking at me like, I said, it was about 10 years ago. See everything. She says, she looks at her husband. He says, is that true? She says, yeah. He was 6'2", blonde hair, blue eye. Yeah. Some of you, when you're counseling, you will see things. I mean, you will literally, gift of discernment, see things. I can't even explain it. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes your counselee, they will see things. I found this with people. I say, okay, now I'm going to ask the demon questions. You tell me what they say. They don't say anything. It's like, what do you hear? And they said, nothing. They said, but I'm seeing stuff. I'm like, oh, well, tell me, what's that? I'm seeing, when I was little, my grandpa molested me. I didn't know that. I said, well, let's not assume it's true. Go ask your grandpa. Grandpa says, yeah, when you were little, I molested you. Grandpa was assuming they'd be too young to remember. So he'd only molest grandkids up until a certain age. But they saw it. It's a supernatural. It's the whole other realm. It's like the Matrix. You can take the blue pill, you can take the red pill. You go into this whole other world. And that's the way it works. So I say, tell me everything you hear, tell me everything you see, and sometimes I see things too. I see things too. I've seen women raped, I've seen children molested, I've seen people abused, I've seen people beaten, I've seen horrible things done. Horrible things done. I've seen children dedicated in occultic groups, and demons come upon them as an infant by invitation, and I wasn't present for any of it, but I've seen it visibly. Upon occasion, when I get up to preach, I'll see, just like a screen in front of me, I'll see somebody get raped or abused, and then I'll track them down and say, look, I had this vision, let me tell you about it. All true. One I had, I was sitting in my office at the old Earl building. This gal walks by, nice gal, member of the church. It's when the church was small. And it was just like a TV was there, and I saw the night before her husband threw her up against the wall, had her by the